Welcome back. Last week I had mentioned that after sifting through like the boxes of documents, order show causes and revocations and things like that regarding Judge Susan CACACE and Jeffrey Cohen, that basically all the information in cases that I saw with the revocations were just and they basically, were okay in my opinion with the revocations. I take that back, because after sifting through more order show causes and revocations, there were a lot of injustices done. This one in particular is in regard to a woman, and Judge Susan CACACE denied this woman a full carry. I'll read everything that's relevant here. And it says, in order for the issuance of a license to have and carry concealed without regard to employment or place of possession by any person, the court must find proper cause exists for the issuance thereof. The court, in exercising its broad discretion, finds good cause for denial for the subject application. In support of her request for this permit, the applicant has stated that she completed an NRA course in safe rifle and pistol handling. The applicant states that due to the personal property that has been stolen, where she identified the suspects, the rocks thrown at her house, the projectile shot at her car windshield while it was parked in her driveway, the robbery of her neighbor's house where she identified the suspects for authorities, and additional homes and business robberies in her neighborhood, she should be granted an unrestricted full carry pistol permit for her personal protection and the protection of her family. I totally agree. She should, or should have. The applicant has provided police documentation of these events along with a police report indicating that her son was threatened by 2 Hispanic males while he was riding his bicycle in the neighborhood. The incidents cited by the applicant all appear to have occurred at or near her residence. The applicant has not demonstrated a need for self-protection or possession of a concealed firearm distinguishable from that of the general public. I don't think every person lives in such a neighborhood. I don't know about you, but where I live, thankfully, where I live, my neighborhood's not that bad, not nearly as bad. But this woman's environment does not seem like a place like I'd want to live, or is indicative of the general public's residence. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. The Westchester County Department of Public Safety has forwarded a recommendation that her application be denied. The court does not find that the applicant has submitted a persuasive argument justifying the issuance of a full carry license. What does it take? Are you going to wait for possibly the unthinkable to happen, where this poor woman can be, or her son could possibly die, and then say, well, gee whiz, well, maybe thinking back on it, maybe I should have, could have, would have. The state has a substantial and legitimate interest and a grave responsibility for ensuring the safety of the general public. Of course it does. But what about, the criminals? Why don't you go after the criminals who have guns illegally? They're the ones you should go after. After all, criminals don't go through the pistol permit process and all the hardships that you have to incur, trying to get a pistol permit. And then even if they do and they're denied, do you think they're going to say, well, gee whiz, I don't have my permit, there goes my career in being a criminal? No, I don't think so. They find ways of getting guns and they continue their careers. They don't go applying for pistol permits. I don't know if you're aware of that, but criminals don't apply for pistol permits. Law-abiding citizens are the only ones that go through this hardship. Once again, you should focus your attention on the criminals and not the law-abiding citizens. Licensing officers are vested with broad discretion in determining the applications for an unrestricted pistol permit license, and are required to exercise their judgment on the basis of total evaluation of relevant factors. Judges, people, are not God. They are not vested rights by God. They were not sent down here by God that are infallible, that have the right to decide whose life is more important. Your life is not more important than mine. My life is not more important than yours. Our lives are all equally important and valuable and precious. For a judge to decide whose life is worth protecting and is not worth protecting is ludicrous. Judges are supposed to serve without improper demeanor, without conflicts of interest or intoxication, without bias, prejudice, favoritism, corruption, prohibited business or political activity, or serious financial and records mismanagement or other misconducts. They have an obligation, and they're supposed to be free of physical and mental disability. They are there to protect our Second Amendment right and to ensure that that right is not violated. They're not there to play God. Maybe one day you won't have that ability to do so. Maybe one day you might wake up and find that things have changed. Hopefully that might happen soon. Not too long ago, a woman contacted me that was denied an application by Judge Jeffrey A. Cohen, and it was a discussion on a personal nature, and from what she told me, she definitely needs a full carry unrestricted permit. She lived in Florida for 12 years, and she has a legitimate need, and was totally flat out denied by Jeffrey A. Cohen, and no real reason. Refuses to answer any questions, and this poor woman doesn't have money to hire an attorney and possibly go into an Article 78 Court of Appeal proceeding, and where 90% of the times it's not going to be overturned anyway. It's going to be just thrown out. I want to show you something. When I became an endowment member of the NRA, it just came in today. I have to show you. I mean, it's absolutely beautiful. The material weighs about like 3 or 4 pounds, maybe even a little bit more. It's like bronze-like material, and the base is made out of wood. And I don't know if you can read it from where you are, but it has the Second Amendment inscription on it, which reads, "A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed." And look how beautiful it is. The NRA is always thoughtful in giving out gifts. It's the most powerful lobbying group in the country, or one of the most powerful lobbying group in the country, without corruption, most upstanding organization in the entire country, in my opinion. Support them 110%. Now a benefactor member, but that's what they gave me for my endowment membership. And nowhere in the Second Amendment does it say anything about home premises, target shooting, or hunting. The Second Amendment has nothing to do with this Second Amendment, with the hunting and target shooting home premises. Midterm elections are coming, and if I were you and you want to see change, the time is coming to make our voices heard. We have the ability to oust those that do not support the Second Amendment and put into office those that do. I highly recommend, becoming a member of the NRA if you're not a member already, supporting them in any way you can through volunteering, or however way you can monetarily. And the New York State Rifle and Pistol Association, I would also recommend you join and support. They're really two great organizations, in my opinion, and I highly recommend that you become members if you're not already. I have to show you the plaque one more time. I mean, it's so beautiful. I got it in my living room, and absolutely beautiful. You have the beautiful Minutemen in here. You have the NRA, logo with the eagle, the American bald eagle, clutching two long arms and the American shield underneath that. Absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Unfortunately, my time here is very limited. This is Westchester, people. We have the ability to change it, the strength in numbers, and anything is possible.